So that's what I wanted to ask you too, because a game the other night between the Laces and Vinyl canceled due to prioritizing player health and safety. After I got out of the comments, because good Lord, Nafisa, I don't know if you've ever gone to the comments after a simple explanation of the game has been postponed or canceled. People were fighting about, they don't owe us an explanation. It was an amazing thing to go witness. But you only have 6 players on a roster. Is there a way to tweak that so that something like this doesn't occur again?
Yeah, I think we might go to some more players. It's crazy because we originally had 5 players per team. And then we exceeded our financial expectations. We were able to have that 6th player. But again, we are making this up as we go, and we can see now in practice that maybe we need a couple more roster spots. So that might be something we look to change in the future.
Imagine being on the tip of your seat, anticipating some exhilarating. Miami's intense 3-on-3 basketball game.
Getting in the post, pounding in the paint, offensive rebound. They do.
Shooting very efficiently, 11 of 17, has hit some threes as Reese could not bank it in. Reese gets the hands in, a little revenge on Martin. Shovel it, hole, 3, bottom. 6 threes now for Kate Martin in Miami. Average just 2.6 points per Sung sign. Can't hit. Reese up the other end. Carves out space. Copper.
What he's continued to say is they understand the importance of a big lead going into the fourth.
Martin dares Reese.
The game has been canceled owing to health and safety concerns, which is a kind way of stating injuries when you check your phone.
Malika, the thing is, this league has been described to me as one that is founded by players and built for players. Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart, they created this, and they wanted to fill the voids that they saw in women's basketball. It's so common for WNBA players to go play overseas during their off season to continue playing competitive ball and just make a livable wage. Those were their top 2 priorities here. They wanted to give them a domestic opportunity to play in the winter and pay what they feel they deserve.
Injuries are increasing and ratings are declining. Caitlin Clark, the player who had the opportunity to alter everything but decided not to join, is in the midst of the mayhem, and the best part is that it was the best decision she could have taken.
It's only been around 25 plus years, so I know there's been so many amazing Black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them I think is very important, and that's something I'm very aware of. And like I said, I try to just be real and authentic and share.
We're delving further into the debate today. The fallout and the reasons Caitlin's choice to pass on Unrivaled wasn't just audacious, it was visionary. Stay tuned for evidence that Caitlin was correct all along. And before we dive in, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more perspectives on the most interesting topics in women's basketball. Let's begin.
Quite a few differences, right, with Unrivaled compared to the W. Of course, you see the courts, they look a little bit different. It is a 3-on-3 league. How do you think players have adapted to this style of play?
I think it's really fun. I mean, taking those 2 extra people off of each team, the whole premise is we have the best players in the world here. We want to showcase their talent. And so to give us more room on the court, room to experiment and play and showcase our skills, I think it's been really fun. The game is so fast-paced as well. What makes it so entertaining for fans, too. And then that 4th quarter, of course, is just like you end on a game winner every single game. So I'm working.
You said best players in the world. I mean, we're talking W champs, we're talking former MVPs, Olympic gold medalists. How do you think this unique blend?
We must recognize Caitlin's impact during her debut WNBA season, when she broke records, in order to comprehend her choice. She not only broke records, but completely destroyed them, setting the guard single-season scoring mark and the all-time assists record across all positions. She was named Rookie of the Year and placed 4th in the MVP vote. She averaged 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game.
You're fiery, there's a lot going on. Can you describe what's going on in your brain at that moment? And But also, I think people love that about you, as long as you don't either break your hand or get another technical. Can you kind of describe what you're thinking and going through there? Thanks.
Well, I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed the three and then I went and hit the backboard. And he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball. So, I don't know, it reminded me of the technical that I got in college where I said, damn it, where it's like a personal frustration. Had nothing to do with my team, had nothing to do with their reffing, had nothing to do with...
Her spectacular play made the Indiana Fever the most watched team in the NBA, drawing over 1,700 spectators on average each game and dominating televised Fever games. Actually, the season's ratings for Caitlin's games attracted more viewers than certain NBA games. Power detractors claim that a WNBA rookie is surpassing NBA players in performance, may minimize her influence, but the data speaks for itself. Last season, her presence increased viewership. Without Caitlin, there wouldn't have been a single athlete who could break through the cacophony of other sports leagues.
To take a breather, but Caitlin Clark in the Indiana
Games has really taken upon her shoulders to be more aggressive offensively to trade, and she has stepped up her game in that opportunity. Caitlin Clark for three, rattled.
Recently being the first WNBA player that has recorded consecutive 20-plus.
I love her. I love the way Caitlin Clark is playing.
Left to play here in the first quarter. Looking for Reese. Bentley tips it away, and off and running. Caitlin Clark wins the pass. Thread the needle. Working it around here for the Fever. Good ball movement on this possession. Logo shot. Low 13-2. Extended run from the end of the first quarter. Clark again. Back Bentley with a huge block. An absolute.
Everyone thought the offer was too good to refuse when Unrivaled offered Caitlin Clark a record-breaking $1 million contract. After all, how many young athletes would turn down that kind of money for only a few months of play?
No one saw.
However, Caitlin shocked the league and fans by saying no, citing her official need for rest. But the real consequences of her choice went far beyond personal exhaustion. League insiders recognized the seriousness of her absence. Without Caitlin's star power, buzz would have died overnight, clouding its much-awaited premiere.
League, 6 teams, Miami, January 17th. Go for it. Good luck to all the players. Good luck to the league. And I can't wait. I love basketball.
Many WNBA players believed that Rivals' greater salary would put pressure on the league to provide better compensation in the next collective bargaining agreement, but the timing just made the debate worse. CBA at first glance, Caitlin's unwillingness to support the cause appeared to be a betrayal of the push for women's basketball players to get higher salaries, but her choice really revealed a more profound long-term vision for the sport's future.
Honestly, this woman, she just alienated a huge portion of her fan base. You should see, I tweeted about this, and my Twitter feed is littered with people saying, I'm done with her. I'm over.
In a time when athletes are frequently pushed to their limits for temporary gains, Caitlin's decision was not just about rest, but also about protecting her health. She knew that her rapid style of play and the tiny rosters were a formula for injury. Caitlin protected her future in the WNBA and maintained her position as a game changer for women's basketball overall by choosing longevity above short-term financial gain.
Here's the reality of the situation. She instigated this kind of stuff. Let's call it what it is. She was waving. She was doing the Cena. How about what she did to Raven Johnson? She didn't just go into the lane and not guard her against South Carolina in the national semifinal. She waved her off. She didn't mind being disrespectful. So why is it that we're hesitant to bring that up? See, here's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to dilute your point by any stretch today, because I get where you're coming from. And as a lady, you should take that position along with Molly about how we all need to grow up and accept the fact that these women are highly competitive, they're highly gifted and skilled, and we should give them the love and respect and deference they deserve. But I'm going to...
The unmatched high-octane, full-corn 3-on-3 style was intended to keep viewers riveted to the action, but the relentless pace offered little time for recuperation, so Caitlin's worries about injuries were spot on. The number of injuries started to mount within weeks of the league's debut. Alyssa Hayes, Thomas Tiffany with just 6 players per team, the issue went beyond merely star players missing games. 7 out of 36 players, or about 20% of the league, were sidelined as a result of the demanding style of play, which also affected Natasha Cloud and others. Every injury was exacerbated. The strain on those who were left standing exhaustion became an inescapable element, and injuries from twisted ankles to more serious ligament rips to musculoskeletal strains are nearly always the result of athletes being weary. The league lacked the roster depth to manage even little setbacks, let alone a wave of injuries. Thus, the quality of play and fan engagement fell. The league's unmatched injury epidemic wasn't just regrettable, it was predicted.
The extra detail.
The golden. Oh! That's golden.
Imagine now that Caitlin had performed. She would have been sidelined for months if she had sustained a catastrophic injury, such as an ACL rupture, endangering the WNBA's top attraction and maybe ending her career. Caitlin's incredible debut season would have destroyed the league's momentum. Caitlin made a calculated decision to decline to play, investing $1 million in her personal future, the security of the WNBA, and the larger goal of long-term growth for women's basketball.
Sabrina Ionescu! The far corner, her money ball rack is on the far wing. Q.
Ionescu at a big Wickham at 28.
Gosh, it looks so easy,
It does. Well, one out shooting this year for the Liberty, she's never had this many open shots. Obviously, Breanna Stewart creates that grab.
Unmatched launch held great potential for the first games. Attracted over 300,000 viewers, which is a remarkable beginning figure for a new women's basketball league. Fans were anticipating fast-paced action and star-studded rosters, but the initial excitement quickly subsided as injuries mounted and important games were either canceled or postponed because of the league's small rosters. In just a few weeks, viewership dropped to 1,600 per game, a startling 50% decrease. This abrupt reduction highlighted the league's increasing difficulties in retaining viewers. It wasn't only injuries. Rivals faced fierce competition from major sporting events like the NCAA basketball tournament and the NFL playoffs, with fans' focus divided among so many other possibilities. The league's reputation suffered. What had begun as a promising platform for women's basketball had turned into a league fighting for relevance, and its lack of star power made it even more difficult to stand out in the crowded sports environment.
Clear out.
In fact, Bentley stays with her. Blocked from behind. That was Clark. Now Clark looking to push. Cross-court pass. Oh, back to Clark. She will launch and barrel. To open up the second quarter, and Clark doing it with some up with the block. And then Lexi Hull finds back within 4.
Without Caitlin, the league would not have been able to draw in casual sports fans whose attention is frequently based on well-known athletes and significant events. Caitlin's choice to sit out wasn't only a setback for Unrivaled, it was also a wake-up call because her capacity to generate ratings had previously demonstrated during her time with Iowa and her WNBA debut season. Marquee players continue to be crucial to women's basketball's ability to reach general audiences. Caitlin's absence demonstrated how essential she is to the development of sports.
Shooting.
And 12 of Seattle.
Answers, and that is the first of the game.
Caitlin's strategic choices were acknowledged by some of the greatest legends in the game. One of the WNBA's most admired pioneers, Sheryl Swoopes, openly praised Caitlin's strategic thinking. One particular choice stood out. Caitlin declined the opportunity to compete in the NBA All-Star three-point contest, choosing instead to use the WNBA's version. By doing this, Caitlin returned the focus to her league and demonstrated to fans and the sports community that the WNBA deserved its fair share of attention. Swoopes viewed Caitlin's move as more than just loyalty. It was a masterclass in foresight, as players frequently put their own glory before the league's overall success. Kin changed the narrative by proving that raising the NBA's visibility was a duty shared by its stars as well as the league's marketing staff. By using her fame as leverage, Kane brought attention to the NBA's platform and its stars, from up-and-coming rookies to veterans who deserved greater recognition. For Swoopes, by using her fame as a means of increasing visibility, Caitlin's decisions demonstrated a thorough awareness of what it takes to advance women's basketball. Every decision she makes is intended to help the league in the long run, not just herself. Following in the footsteps of NBA trailblazers who battled for a better future, Caitlin is earning the respect of those who laid the groundwork for the unmatched foundation she now builds upon. The organization was founded with the intention of providing women's basketball players with greater exposure and higher wages. On the surface, this seemed like a fantastic opportunity, but Caitlin saw beyond the short-term financial benefits. The emergence of many leagues is a problem since it may dilute media attention, fan engagement, and sponsorship funds too much. Rather than fostering greater opportunities, Caitlyn's decision to remain with the WNBA demonstrated a deeper awareness of the direction the sport is taking. By concentrating her efforts on a single league, she makes sure that resources and fan interaction stay focused, which makes it simpler for the WNBA to raise player salaries and negotiate better broadcast deals rather than promoting band-aid fixes. Long-term pay increases and more opportunities won't come from simply having more leagues. Rather, they will come from growing the fan base and raising demand for women's basketball. Caitlin is playing the long game by working to create a stronger, more cohesive league that benefits everyone. Although Caitlin's commitment to the WNBA may appear to be a short-term sacrifice, it sets up the league for long-term success.
Continue to say reports of a big league going into the
Martin dares Reese to she delivers.
Despite its initial defeats, the rival tale is far from done. Although the original model didn't work out as expected, the league still has significant sponsorships and strong financial support, so there is still time to reorganize and come up with a successful formula. Reducing injuries and improving product quality might be achieved by shortening the season or moving from its fast-paced 3-on-3 model to a more conventional 5-on-5 structure. These kinds of changes will not only improve player safety, but also increase the league's competitiveness in the sports world by adding structure. If done correctly, games unrivaled could still complement the WNBA rather than compete with it, becoming a valuable platform for women's basketball. These changes could also give players an off-season outlet without jeopardizing their careers. The league's leadership must now decide whether to stick with the original vision or change to meet the needs of its players and fans. Due to her resolve to remain faithful to her league, Caitlin's absence from Unrivaled had a cascading effect that increased the WNBA's exposure. The WNBA gained a competitive edge in a crowded sports market thanks to Caitlin's increased attention and viewership. Her star power continues to attract both casual and diehard fans, generating a positive feedback loop that benefits all of the league's players. Additionally, the WNBA's negotiating position is strengthened. Better sponsorship arrangements result from increased TV ratings and ticket sales, larger TV deals, and, eventually, better player salaries. Not only does Caitlin benefit personally, but the league as a whole benefits from her ability to command attention. Caitlin's strategy brings to light a crucial reality. When used well, individual celebrity can benefit a whole community. By concentrating her efforts on a single league, she is strengthening the basis for women's basketball, which benefits everyone.
That one. Clark trying to get by the Mystics defense at the cup. Boston gets the slip and wrong. Quickly up the floor is Mitchell. Beautiful find from Clark as Richards as she's into the ball game. Richards on the floor. Clark, the step back three just below the logo, drills it. Move has Smith running with her. Gets it to her on the move. Beautiful. And all of that, but she is right there for her and every. Clark pulls.
Fans are eager to see how Caitlin Clark will perform following a season of rest and recuperation, and with the Indiana Fever making significant off-season acquisitions, excitement surrounding the team is at an all-time high. Her decision to skip Unrivaled wasn't just a wise athletic move, it was a masterstroke of brand strategy. Caitlin's brand is based on more than simply basketball. It's about making calculated choices that increase her worth and influence. Everything she does seems to be intended to increase her exposure, from where she plays to the events she attends, by being choosy. Caitlin makes sure that everyone is watching her when she does take the court. This increased anticipation benefits the league as well as her personal brand, because more people watching Caitlin means more people watching women's basketball, which is another way she uses her influence to advance the sport overall.
Alyssa Thomas is one of the most quiet, woman of few words, does not mince her words, lets her game speak for herself type of people you will ever meet. She's one of those people also that has an alter ego on the court. She's a bully, she plays hard, she plays well, but off the court, she is like so soft-spoken. So if she's choosing to speak, there is a reason. Let's talk about this Connecticut Sun series, right? In this series, we saw Caitlin Clark get poked in the eye. And Caitlin said in media after that was accidental, that was unintentional. But we saw reporters gaslighting that situation, trying to make more of it, speaking to amplifying the wrong narratives. As a result of that, Dejanay Carrington, who has been vocal about the issues that players have dealt with over the course of this WNBA season with the...
While many athletes could have been tempted by the $1 million offer, Caitlin's deliberate decision to choose rest over riches shows how mature she is as an athlete. Caitlin recognized the need of rest and recuperation for sustained performance, and by using the offseason to recuperate and train, she is setting herself up for a successful sophomore WNBA season. Caitlin Clark is a game-changer. Her ability to shoot long threes, drive to the hoop, and set up her teammates will only become better with new legs and a clear head. She's not only safeguarding her future, but also providing the Indiana Fever with the best opportunity to compete for a postseason berth.
Anyway, Time Magazine also chose WNBA superstar Caitlin Clark as their Athlete of the Year. Hey, here's the problem. A lot of conservatives are having a fit over her interview, and here's what they're so mad about. Watch.
Coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career, but also I grew up a fan of this league from a very...
By putting the WNBA above other opportunities, Caitlin is focusing on building sustainable success for the sport and strengthening the league's foundation for future generations. Every choice she makes reflects a long-term vision for women's basketball rather than pursuing quick wins or instant glory.
I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed the three and then I went and hit the backboard, and he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball. So I don't know, it reminded me of the technical that I got in college where I said, damn it, where it's like a personal frustration. Had nothing to do with my team, had nothing to do with their reffing, had nothing to do with other team. It was just because I'm a competitor and I felt like I should have been making more shots. So, but I think he fired me up to continue to play a lot harder. I thought we got a lot better after he did that. So I want to thank him for that.
There is more to this long-term emphasis than just money. Caitlin hopes the WNBA flourishes in terms of player opportunity and fan interaction. Her options include guided by a desire to bring about long-lasting transformation, whether it's through greater marketing, more pay, or enhanced player safety and health. Caitlin's leadership is redefining women's basketball. She is not only playing the sport, but also influencing its future. Her impact will last for years to come as the WNBA develops. By putting her health and the WNBA first, Caitlin Clark made the correct choice once more and paved the way for future success. What do you believe will cause Unrivaled to recover, or did Caitlin's choice put the last nail in the coffin? If you read this far, please leave an emoji in the comments below. Also, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more thoughts on women's basketball. I'll see you later.
Just to ask you directly, when people use your name for racism, misogyny, whatever, what is your response to that?
Yeah, I think it's disappointing. I think, everybody in our world, deserves the same amount of respect. The women on our league deserve the same amount of respect. So people should not be using my name to push those agendas. It's disappointing. It's not acceptable. But yeah, I mean, this league is a league I grew up admiring.